Alright, so let's see what they do. Let's start with the LD first, of course. Speedy Bloodbath Doomcrow. So basically a similar build to Loan, it seems. Holy essay. Alright, so skill 1. It says she's like an LD Rahu or something in the trailer, so I'm assuming the skill 1 is going to be very important. It deals damage to a single enemy based on defense with a chance to inflict vulnerable. That's pretty good. Makes her pair really well with like Plume and stuff, because you get two unique debuffs, so you can amp your damage like crazy. During Jade Empire, damage is further increased when the skill deals a crit. So you're going to want to build her probably 100 crit rate, just like Ray Mary, right? Because Ray Mary's debuff and pushback is 100% base chance when she crits. So you need the crit rate. Jade Empire, assuming that's something in the skill 3. Skill 2 deals damage to all enemies based on defense with a chance to inflict defense down. That's pretty good. Vulnerable and defense down on the same unit. That seems like she's going to be quite a menace in the turn 2 mirror. After casting, launches a follow-up attack on the primary target. Whoa. And then when her skill 3 is up, the damage is increased when it crits. So you use the skill 2 and the main target gets hit with a skill 1 also. There's basically no trade-off, right? Like with Loan, you've got this really big trade-off with the skill 2 in that she doesn't gain the turn meter boost, right? So you basically just want to like spam her skill 1 every turn, and using the skill 2 kind of sucks, but for this character, you still get the skill 1 anyway. So that seems like it's going to be a really good skill 2. And skill 3 activates Jade Empire for several turns, probably 3, I would assume. Grants defense and speed buff to all allies. That's pretty good. Exclusive passive, Jade Empire. While active, Xuan's assist rate is increased. I wonder what it is when it's not active, right? Because it says increased, so I'm assuming there's a base chance, probably 40% maybe. And it's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 50% base and then this increases it to 100. So you get an assist with every, whenever an ally uses an active skill, excluding basic attack. Okay. So it's got to be 100, right? Because it only goes when you use skill 2 and 3. It's probably fairly high to begin with, and then 100% once you hit the S3. And she gets 1 stack of Jade Sigil each time. During this state, all allies are immune to cooldown increases. Additionally, at the start of their turns, there's a chance to reduce the cooldowns of all. I'm assuming that's the intern translated this wrong, but Animus and Shell skill cooldowns by 1 turn. Start of their turns. There's a chance to reduce. Okay. This effect does not apply to targets with Time Weave. So, yeah, because that would be broken, wouldn't it? I don't know how high this chance is, right? But let's just assume it's 35% like Time Weave, right? If you stacked that on top of Time Weave and you had a 70% chance every time their turn started to reset your cooldowns by 1 turn, that would be pretty broken. So she hits her S3, and then everyone is immune to cooldown increases for the duration. So I could see her being like a very strong anti-Kethos Santic tech pick for turn 1. You just build her super fast with Bulwark, and you just get the skill 3 off, and then the rest of your team does not need to worry about Kethos. And then Jade Sigil. When Xuan is inflicted with a control effect, consume 1 stack of Jade Sigil to purify the effect. Max 5 stacks. How does she get the stacks again? Whenever an ally uses an active skill that isn't a skill 1, she gains a stack. It consumes 1 stack to purify the... Okay. When Jade Empire expires, all remaining stacks are consumed. For each stack consumed, grants a shield to all allies based on her defense. So, I don't think she impacts the turn 1 matchup at all, right? If you're fighting against her, like, you might as well be fighting against a Rahu. Like, you just cleave her or CC her super easily. Thank goodness we don't have another Ray Mary to deal with, right? Because she has to actually hit the S3 to really do anything. Right, like all the cleanse, all the anti-cooldown stuff. If you're fighting turn 2 players that are tanking up, you probably just deal with her the same way you would deal with a Rahu. Which is just literally do anything. But in the turn 2 mirror, she's going to be probably the strongest bruiser in the game, I would assume. And she just kind of like shuts down everything, right? You know, like Santic is really, really good in the mirror match, not against her. Debuffs don't work on her. She does tons of damage. She puts defense down and vulnerable. And the mirror match, I think she's going to be very strong. I don't know if she'll be good in turn 1. I think it just depends on how high the base chance is for the follow-up, right? Because the skill 3 says her assist rate is increased, right? So if it's a pretty decent base chance without the skill 3 being active, I think she'll be very strong in turn 1 also, in like kind of a more standard draft, right? Because you would pick her early, and then you can flex into turn 2, or she just like amps your damage like crazy on the main target, right? Because you know you hit your Sen US3 or whatever, and then she assists and just finishes them off. So yeah, she could be very solid in turn 1, but I feel like she'll probably be maybe not stronger than Ray Mary, but probably stronger than Loan at least, right? In turn 2. And then this guy, skill 1, deals damage to a single enemy based on max HP and heals based on HP lost. Exclusive passive, Azure Drifting. The start of the battle increases follow-up rate based on max HP, but the character becomes unable to deal crit hits. Interesting. So he's like, got like the Lilium HP steal, and then the Holden follow-up, and then the Born non-crit all in one. It's interesting. Siren's Bite deals damage to all enemies based on... Wait, does this say assist? No, follow-up. Okay, yeah, so Holden's passive. Deals damage to all enemies based on max HP with a chance to inflict wound. Okay. Sounds good. Cannon Rainfall. Attacks all enemies, removing percentage of the primary target's current HP and consuming an equal amount of self-HP. Damage cannot exceed self-current HP. Deals damage to all other targets based on max HP with a chance to inflict weak. So he's got a unique debuff. Unless this is just weakness that Plume has, but... And they just mistranslated it, but it says it's a different debuff. He removes HP of the primary target, so it doesn't count as a hit, and then it deals damage to everyone else. I think. Oh, depending on how strong this debuff is, this dude could be super good. I think the skill 2 is awesome, because an HP scaling damage dealer that has an AoE wound seems pretty freaking good. And you build him on Champion Gator, super high damage, probably fast. You can bring him in cleave. And then, and because he can't crit, you can go triple HP right side. And then he has the wound to deal with enemy ambers. Yeah, I don't know how good this will be in turn 2. I'm not a turn 2 player, but I think it'll be pretty freaking good in turn 1. Not sure about Bulwark. What other matrices do the Champion Gator have? Nothing really. Right, Strive would probably be best, but Bulwark gives you the extra HP also, so probably is just his best build in for turn 1. Yeah, so definitely some interesting kits. This seems overloaded as can be. Hopefully the base assist chance is already high to begin with, and it just goes to 100% with the skill 3. Then she should be really good in turn 1 also, especially with turn dot opener. But yeah, I think that's all for this one.